Hello, everyone.
Hello.
You were just telling me to fix the mic?
Yes.
I did remember to fix the mic.
Okay, thank you.
Those of you who've been around a while, when we would have mic issues, we figured out with StreamYard, I have to do a different setting depending on if we're doing the show by ourselves or if we are on with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a big difference, and then I always forget to switch it back. But I switched it back. What's happening, everybody? How's everybody doing? How's your Sunday going? I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to manage to not cry this episode.
Okay.
So
it's good to know.
I'm not feeling it coming on. Last time it's like I was already feeling it before we even did the show, so I kind of knew I was done for.
You're better this week?
This week I think I'll be all right.
All right. You can manage to contain your emotions, all of that?
Yeah, I think so. Did you like the name of today's show?
Yeah, it's today is Sunday, January 82nd on in the year 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but damn.
This is definitely where the party's at, though. Yeah, I mean, for any number of reasons, personal, world, everything all together, it's like the longest month that's ever been.
I mean, January always feels long because let's face it, no matter where you live in the country, in this country anyway, it is almost always cold and dark, right? It doesn't...
Yeah.
You know, you've got some of the longest days of the year, and they've started to, sun setting a little bit later in the day, depending on where you are. But like January in general, it's always cold. I mean, and even here in Vegas, this is cold.
Mm-hmm.
And January is the only time of the year that we're actually really cold.
Well, we've managed to pack a lot in this month, a lot of mainly bad stuff. But I mean, we're going to be getting into the stuff later as far as numbers and stuff. But you did have a very good week.
I did, in spite of
I don't know. Do you feel suddenly alive?
I feel like my store suddenly woke up. I don't really get it, but yeah. My store suddenly woke up this week, which feels great. I mean, I haven't done anything different. I'm still working every day and listing every day and sales and offers and all the good stuff. So I had a good week. I'm excited that I had a good week.
Hopefully you can hang on to it.
Yeah,
Liz says happy January 78th.
Yep. Seriously. Central Florida. Julie, I hope you are having some decent weather in Florida. And Cali Dibs, thank you. I did see that there is rain in Cali, so hopefully the rain will help get the rest of the fires out. And for any of you guys that are living in and around those areas in California, geez, it's been brutal, and my heart is with you. Katie does have a happier face.
It's true.
Today.
Well, first of all, I have my new glasses on. So as you guys know, last year I was doing all the health stuff inspired by our friend Lorna, who's dealing with cancer right now. And so I've been doing all the stuff. And so I'm starting off 2025. First thing on the list is getting my eyes checked, which I had done, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe, and gotten new contacts. But I hadn't gotten a new prescription for glasses in like 11 years. And so my contacts changed a tiny bit, but relatively the same, just got a little tiny bit worse. But my glasses were so old that it was like...
Now you feel like you can see when
and
you
so
don't
then, so I've been using the same pair of glasses for the last 10 years. I think I had one other pair that I don't remember what happened to them, but now I've went ahead and I got myself 4 different pairs of glasses.
She went a little cray-cray on the glasses.
And I got a pair of sunglasses, prescription sunglasses. I can't do the whole, what do they call it, where the transition lenses or whatever.
That's what they call it.
Okay, fine. I just don't like the way they look. And so I got myself a pair of basically these same ones, only sunglasses. And then I can switch them in the car when I want to be wearing glasses. So... But I'm feeling pretty good about it. I like my new glasses.
I actually went to the eye doctor too. That was my first of all the doctor things because Katie did all of her doctor things, and the eye doctor was my prescription didn't change. My eyes are still the same. They have not changed in 5 years, so I'm good. My eyes are not that bad. I do wear contacts, but about 3 months ago I started doing what do they call it, mono vision? I guess basically I keep one contact in and one not, so that I don't have to wear my reading glasses for everything. It's helped a lot.
Yeah, these glasses, Lori, this pair is from Zenni, and I got some red ones from Zenni as well. And then I got and I also I think got the sunglasses from Zenni. And then I got 2 other pairs from Zilul. Is that how you say it?
Zilul, I think.
Zilul. They're cheap. It's like it was less than $200 to get basically 5 pairs of prescription glasses. Like that's really good, and I feel like they're pretty good quality. So
Nice.
I like them. But yeah, and then the next thing is I have my doctor's appointment in a couple of weeks, so that'll be good to figure out all the stuff with gallbladder, uterine fibroids, kidney stones, you name it, guys. I got it. Apparently.
You're a hot mess.
So I'm gonna be following up on that. So there you go.
Lori says your eyes pop in those glasses.
Really? Because usually Vicky's like thinks that they cover them up.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Let's see. Sarah says I have mono contact lenses. Yeah, so I have this one. I don't put a contact in. I've been doing this for like 3 months. I just wanted to try it out because I can't do the bifocals thing, and I don't like because glasses. I feel like I have no peripheral. So I have my contact in this eye, which is my worst eye, and I have nothing in this eye, and it's actually helped quite a bit. It took a little bit to get adjusted.
Yeah.
But when I went to the eye doctor the other day, he gave me a pair of contacts, and I had them both in for like a day, and I was like, nope, now I can't see again. So I definitely have gotten used to it. I'm gonna go with that for a while.
I think it helps that you have, so like for instance, my eyes are like negative 4.5, negative 3, no, sorry, 4.25, 3.25. Yours are like 1.25, negative 1.25.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, it's not as crazy of a, I feel like I would have more of a, it would be a harder time adjusting trying to do just one. But I don't have, I'm not
You're not farsighted.
farsighted at all. I don't have any issues like seeing things
She's
close
not
up.
as old as I am, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just want to answer
Yeah.
a question there from Chelsea in the chat. We can stop talking about glasses now. Chelsea, if you look at the post that you commented on in the group, someone replied how to get around that. I think you may have to call. But if you're trying to get, and sometimes if you get somebody on the phone, I know I hate making phone calls. I don't know if you're like that, Chelsea. I hope you're not. But sometimes if you get someone on the phone, they will find you an even better code when you call.
Yeah. And
that was what someone had said. So anyway, if you haven't gotten your room for the Boss Reseller Remix yet, we are 6 weeks out now. And there is a code that I put in the group that they're doing, the no resort fee, I believe it is, for Golden Nugget. They change their sales all the time,
Yeah.
but if you don't know to look for it and you're not on their email list, then you won't know about it and you're just going to pay full boat. So that's definitely the best way to go is through the codes. The other suggestion I would say is to go to hotels.com and put in specifically the Golden Nugget that you're looking for Golden Nugget, and they usually have the best hotel rates already calculated through that site. I haven't found much of a difference when I go that way or book direct with the codes.
The only thing I will say is try calling them directly first, because if you book directly with them, that's the only way you're going to potentially get any kind of like upgrades. Potentially, not that that's guaranteed.
True.
But if you don't book with them, they can't really help you with upgrading you or giving you anything special.
That's true. And they also give you like, I think there's like food comps or something.
Sometimes
too.
they do that. It was like last year was like $40 a day.
For some people. So
you
like,
could
yeah,
use.
it makes a difference for sure. Golden Nugget is still probably the best value for Fremont, but you can also get, there are rooms at the D, the El Cortez, all of that down there is really nice. None of them are garbage hotels.
Yeah.
So wherever you find that is the least expensive for you to come and stay, they're also close and walkable. If you've been before, you know that. And it's easy to meet up with, friends to Uber back and forth to the venue. We did cut down on a couple of your Uber trips because of how we've structured the days. We're no longer leaving on Thursday after the auction, and we're not throwing you out to do a reset. We're going to go right to the party. So that cuts down on 2 Uber trips for you.
Yeah.
And I agree. Every penny saved helps for all of us. We know that it's an investment to come to Las Vegas. I know our ticket prices are reasonable for a 3-day conference. We still keep our ticket price under $400 and feed you quite a few times.
You know who's coming to the remix?
Allison.
Allison.
I know. I saw.
Officially.
We knew she couldn't stay away. Let's be real.
It's true.
I don't know. I didn't see Jen Goodell come through yet. I hope you can get some time off,
know.
Jen.
Come
We're gonna
on,
be. It
Jen.
won't be the same without you.
Speaking of Jen, I need to get in touch with her this week to get me some T-shirts. What else was I gonna say? Oh, so last week when I was like having a hard time not being a crybaby, being sad about Luna. We've got our baby Ripley, who's just a little baby. She's only 3, And we really need her to have a play buddy. And so the other day, our friend Crystal came over and brought Sancho to play with Ripley. How'd it go?
They were both afraid of each other, pretty much.
Well, no, I mean, Ripley was ready to play. Sancho is a real scaredy cat, but I'm pretty sure that Sancho was exactly how Ripley would be if she was at some stranger's house. He was real quiet, and he didn't know what to do, and he didn't want to leave his mom's side for a second, and his little tail was tucked, but he was very sweet, and we're hoping that they can hang out with each other a few more times. And then today, after the show, I don't know if Vicky's coming or not. She seems like she's a little nervous about it, but I'm going to take her over to our friend's house down the street, and
I don't want to make her nervous because
So I might just do it myself. I'm going to take her over to our friend's house because they have a couple of small dogs and they're just 2 blocks away, but they've never met, and so I'm really trying to get her some play buddies because if they get along, then I could go down there, or we could go down there a couple times a week, and she could play with her friends.
Just let them play for half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chelsea, I think that's exciting. I would love to see your husband and meet your husband. It would be his first time, she said. And Tommy, yep, definitely don't eat a big lunch on Thursday. The dinner that we give you, it's fully catered dinner. Small bites, but lots of them, and really, really good food. Chuck, I hope we're going to see you in March. You will know that I was talking about you at our meetup last Saturday. I was talking about, I don't know how Chuck works for eBay, for those of you that don't know. He works full-time for eBay.
I don't know how, because he's
I don't know how,
too,
because he's also a full-time seller, and he is a better seller than most of us on this that are watching this channel. He kills it. I don't know how he finds the time, but he's really, really good. And I was talking about that. I don't know how you find the time to do it, because we actually had Val and Shelly at our meetup last Saturday, so it was a lot of fun.
Allison's basically telling us the only reason she's coming is because she's got 4 free nights at the Nugget.
Oh, okay. I see.
That was the real deciding factor. Alexis, no new puppy. We are going to get a puppy, but we are waiting probably until April, and then I can say it's my birthday present.
Yeah, we're going to look for another dog after the remix. We don't have the time to dedicate to a new puppy right now, and it wouldn't be fair to the dog. And obviously, we're going to be looking for a rescue dog or, or a dog that's in foster or rescue dog. Yeah.
They're all rescues.
Okay. Shelter dog or rescue dog, I guess was what I was trying to say.
Yeah. A dog that needs a new home. That's what it is.
Chuck says, my son does 100% of the shipping. Oh, okay.
Nice.
You have forced child labor. I understand.
Okay.
Now we know the secrets.
Now we understand.
So I wish my my daughter lived closer, because I would have her working for me part-time. Although I do appreciate my friend Jen, who does my draft listings for my clothing. I would love to have my daughter live close enough.
Yeah.
So
Alexis, I know that's the one worry I have is puppies can be really competitive, and so we actually have 3 different people at 3 different places that have the inside scoop, so that when we're ready to start looking for a puppy, we'll be able to know, like, before they even become available. Because it's like this, by the time you see it listed on a website, it's like, good luck.
And there's like
good luck getting
30 applications already. Yeah. Lori, I mean, I wish we could do the remix somewhere else, but honestly, this is the only place that it's ever going to be, obviously, because we live here and we have a beautiful relationship with a facility that allows us to be able to afford to put on the event itself.
And doing it from our home is kind of paramount.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the show we're already quarter after. This is our regular Sunday show. We break it into 3 parts.
I do want to answer Chelsea
we
first.
can always, Victoria, we can always go back and answer Chelsea. We break it into 3 parts. The first part, we look at our real numbers for the last week, and all of our gross numbers across all of our platforms. We break down the fees, the cost of shipping, the cost of goods. And in the middle part of our show, we look at our sales highlights, across all of our platforms for the last week, some of the interesting things that we sold. And in the last part, we talk about our goals, what goals we might have set last week. I think I set some pretty sad goals last week while I was crying.
You were a little pathetic at last week.
It's true. And then we'll see what we're going to do for the next week in the future, and you guys can join in with us on that. And Victoria would like to answer a question before we jump in.
Yeah, so Chelsea, anyone else that is listening to this as well, we are looking for donations for our auction, the charity auction that we do in the last day of the Boss Reseller Remix. We do a charity auction through Whatnot, and all of the money goes directly to the Blind Center itself. Last year we raised a little over $12,000 in about 45 minutes, and we're looking to do more of that this year. So if you have items that you'd like to donate, just message me or Katie after the show, and I'll send you our address and you can ship them to us. We need to have them in hand because I need to photograph them and get them uploaded to the auction for pre-bids. So Chelsea, I would love for you to bring them. We'll talk. I mean, if you can get me photos and I know that you're bringing them with you, then whatever's easier, you can ship them or bring them with you. I just need photos of what you have beforehand so we can upload it. And I appreciate that you want to donate something. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into our numbers for last week. Mine have kind of, we're back to the hold and steady kind of thing. I would love to be able to, let's see if I can grow from here. Although I guess this is probably about what I can expect and the best I can hope for with what's kind of been going on this last month for me and us, last couple months. Anyway, this is ending last night. 28 eBay orders, 10 Etsy. I had some multi-orders on both platforms, especially Etsy. 3 Poshmark. Poshmark was pretty slow. And then 3 between Grail, Mercari, and Depop. For a total of 44 outgoing orders. eBay, $1,336.41. Now, if you remember, I think it was 2023. I don't think I had a single week where I was even able to break $1,000 in a week. I had a real bad year for eBay. So that's definitely improved a lot over the last year and into this year. Etsy, $469.70. Poshmark, $127. And then Grail, Mercari, and Depop together, $135. My total gross sales, $2,068.11. You can see my shipping, $174.23, and the breakdown of fees there. Cost of goods, roughly $125. So total net sales just squeaked through $1,541.47. Gross average sale price, exactly $47. I try to hit 40 and above, so that makes me happy. And the net average sale price is $35.03. Now, Vicki had a really good week.
I had a good week.
Why don't you tell us about it?
It actually feels like I don't even know how to describe it. I almost cried. I'm verklempt. It was a good week. Anyway, so I had 44 eBay sales, 10 on Etsy, 6 on Poshmark. My Mercari completely died when they changed the shipping rules and then has never recovered when they changed them back. I don't really, whatever. I'm still cross-posting. I still use a bot to delist or relist on Mercari, but I have not had... I've had like 2 sales in the last 30 days. Mm-hmm. So total orders 60 that went out. 28.33.51 on eBay, $670 on Etsy, $275 on Poshmark for a total sales week of $37.79.23. It was a good week. And I only had 1 really big sale out of there. So and it was online. It wasn't a consignment. So $313 in shipping, and then you see the breakdown of the fees there. My total cost of goods $271, still very low compared to my sales price. Net sales $27.44, which is right where I want to be. I like to be at $2,500 net or more, and that hasn't happened in a long time.
Kristen says, "Dang, girl,
dang." Total gross average sale price just about $63, which is great. My net average sale price just under $46. I'm very happy with that week. Kristen, we are really going to miss you at the remix this year. I'm so sad that she's not coming. Kristen's not able to come to the remix, and it makes me very sad. Anyway, that was a good week. I am really happy that we managed to... I managed to pull it off somehow.
I can't believe that Kristen is going to miss Cha-Ching King speak.
I know.
I thought that was her dream.
I know, right?
And now she's just not even going to be there. How sad. All right, so let's go ahead and actually just jump right into our, let me get out of here, our sales highlights. Starting with you. Why don't you tell us about all these things that you sold for $500 bazillion?
This is a bag. This is a handbag. I actually picked this up in a large lot of items that I picked up from one particular buyer here in town. It was a referral, and I paid on average $20 per item. So this was not a huge flip. It was just this is one of those. It's a cute handbag. Keep an eye out for the name, but some people are selling them for really cheaply, and I sold this within a couple of hours of listing it for $59.95. And I had kind of looked at some of the sale prices and said, like, God, why are they so low? Because it is a nicely made bag. It's very reminiscent of a Chanel bag. It's not Chanel, nor is it counterfeit. It's just a brand that kind of looks like that. But it's a high-end, nice leather bag. So just keep an eye out for the brand, and don't price your things too cheaply. I am getting better at accepting offers and things like that, and just letting things go. But there's a fine balance between that and pricing yourself down so much that you're making your items devalued.
Yeah.
So that was why I wanted to talk about that one.
Okay. First up for me, look at this awesome t-shirt. Pretty nice, huh?
Oh, jeez.
I actually sold it for $30.
That's so cheesy.
I think somebody sent me an offer for $30. This is I always like to show these because, first of all, I just sell a bunch of t-shirts. So, I mean, what am I going to show you? More t-shirts. But I always like to show what you can do with a shirt that's been cut up. And just because the sleeves are cut off doesn't mean it loses all its value. Now, I have had this for a little while, but come on, look at that. Look at that graphic. Team Paul Mitchell Sports, or Paul Mitchell Team Sports. I don't know how you're supposed to read it, but you got your surfer there, you got your beach volleyball player there, and your sleeves are cut off. I mean, nobody's going to question how sporty you are when you show up at the beach wearing this t-shirt, Victoria.
I mean,
come on.
Clearly not. Clearly not.
And obviously somebody recognized that, and they paid $30 plus $5.95 shipping so that they can wear this to the beach.
Ridiculous.
Come on. If you saw somebody wearing this at the beach, how would you feel?
You
know you'd go, nice shirt,
Is that sliced all the way down the sides, too?
It's just cut on the seam.
Of course it is.
How dare you?
Of course it is. So you get lots of armpit hanging out.
Yeah. You gotta keep cool, man. You gotta keep cool while you're rocking that
I
shirt.
picture a cheesy, mullet-wearing, muscle-bound guy on Pismo Beach trying to rock this with some short shorts.
Yeah, and it would look awesome.
Okay.
Like some either hot pink or maybe neon green.
All right.
What do you think? I think it's pretty good. Anyway, this one, I don't even remember where I got it. I wouldn't have paid more than like $5 for it, but I probably got it at Yesterday's Fits. I don't think I got it from Jen, but what's great is I always have Jen in the chat to tell me when, but I'm pretty sure I didn't get this from her. Mm-hmm. So we'll say $5 at most.
Yep,
Maybe
Susie said a hair-sprayed mullet. I agree.
There you go. All right, what you got here? Oh, something classy, whatever.
I did take an offer on this. I sold it for $65. That's a good offer. It was on sale for $73. I was running a big sale. The past 2 weeks I've been running some decent sales through my store. I've been doing 40% off. I did 39% off this week.
Whoa.
Basically, what I do is I run a sale for a week at a time, and then I give an entire 24 to 48 hours for my store to reset. And in that reset period, I often sell a lot of things at full price and also send aggressive offers when I do that. And then I make sure that my sale price percentage is different every time I run a sale.
All right.
So sometimes it's 20%, sometimes whatever. I've been trying to be aggressive sales these past couple weeks to drum up some business.
She's been very aggressive lately, guys.
I have been
Very aggressive.
So this is just a vintage 60s, and you can see it probably would have sold faster if I didn't have the typo. No space between 60s and sweater. But anyway, I've had this for a while. I can't remember how long I've had it, but it was probably a bins find. Probably paid around $5-6 for it based on the weight. And it sold for $65.
Very nice, very nice. All right, next up, this I actually found. I'm 99.9% sure I got this at the bins, and it was just kind of, I picked it up and I was like, what is this? Vegas.
I remember you getting that. I think it is from the bins.
Vegas. It's a Vegas festival shirt. I did not sell it for that much money, but I did sell it for $75. I think I sent an offer out. So, like, you know, when I price stuff like this high, once I've seen it's not going to sell, I do like some serious aggressive offers. And so I was sending out $75 offers on this one and sold it for $75. But it's just a cool festival shirt. It's got some cool bands on there. In 2005, it's officially vintage, man.
It is now.
Yeah, you got like Sleater Kinney in there. You got Primus. Primus, your favorite band. Ween. You got all kinds of the Flaming Lips.
I mean, I like Beck. I like Trey Anastasio. It's not terrible. I'm not a fan of Dave Matthews. I find the Dave Matthews Band to be incredibly whiny music. It drives me nuts.
You got the Decemberists on here. Look at that.
Your buddies.
All right.
All right.
Next up for you.
This is just more of a Bolo brand. Keep an eye out. It's Fleur de Mal.
Oh, Fleur de Mal.
I grabbed this at the Salvation Army bins, so I paid maybe $2 for it, just under $2. I grabbed this when we were with Ryan and Allie when they were just here a couple of months ago. So I paid about $2 for it at the Salvation Army bins, and it didn't take that long to sell. It sold for an offer of $65.
Nice.
And it's very tiny. Like, it's a crop, as you can see. It's a cropped sweater, short sweater. So it's cute. Say it again. Sounds fancy.
Say it.
Fleur de Mal. Fleur de Mal.
Fleur de Mal. All right. Next up, here's another thing I don't remember where I got it. I don't think I got it at the bins. I don't remember. Maybe I got this from Jen. I don't remember. I'm horrible. I'm terrible. Toronto light hockey jersey. I wouldn't have paid more than $5 for it though. And it did not sell for that price. Somebody sent me an offer for $67, and I was like, heck yeah, I'll sell that to you for $67 when I maybe paid $5 for it. And I remember when I did the comps for it, there were quite a few other ones out there, so I wasn't like going, hot dog, I'm going to make a ton of money on this one.
It was still worth picking up.
Yeah, for sure. So $67, not too shabby. Look at me selling jerseys.
Look at me selling art.
Oh, look at you selling art. I feel like we had this exact same painting in my parents' house.
Well, considering this is not a paint by number, this is an original art piece. There were two by the same artist that I found at the bins, not in great shape, but they're very lightweight. I paid maybe $2 a piece. The first one I sold for $75, and this one I also sold for $75. This is small. It's not a very big
I didn't ship it.
print. It was, if you scroll down, I can show you. No, to the description, so I can show you what it was.
Oh, scroll down there. Okay, gotcha.
The size of it, 13 by 9.
Yeah, she didn't need my help for that.
I did not. And if you scroll back up, you can tell obviously I only know who did it because it's signed in the back, right? It's a dark print. It probably hung somewhere where there was a lot of smoke because it was probably smoked. Everybody smoked in the house. But it had the person's name and the date, and it was pretty well done, oil painting on canvas. So somebody threw them in the bins. They were probably framed, and maybe somebody took the frames. But it was very easy to ship that one, Susie, because it's not very big. But I just thought it was cool. I mean, generally, I buy art that I think is cool. If it's an original painting, I knew that this was going to sell for something. And of course, it's not a listed artist. This is probably a hobby artist. I did check and see if there was any other art by that person's name anywhere, which means that you just kind of make up the price and see what happens. So
yeah, how much did you say you sold for?
$75, and I've only had it for a couple of months.
That's
so
not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right, next up. I did not sell it for this much. This should be my mantra. I did not sell this for this much. Oh, I put this in the wrong order. But this one I sold for $40. But I got this at the bins. And, now that I'm kind of expanding beyond just vintage, because if I only focused on vintage and went to the bins, I would have a much harder
You'd be
time
starving.
pulling enough pieces. And so I'm having to pay more attention to possible like streetwear stuff and stuff that like I might be able to actually sell. And you know what? The great thing about this day and age with our cell phones, with our smartphones and stuff like Google Lens is that just about anything, if you just take a little bit of time, you can find out what it is, and
you just throw it on the floor at the bins, Google Lens it, and list it from the floor.
Well, you could do that too, but
because that's what they do. That's what all the bins boys do.
Some of them do that, but anyway, so I was able to see that this was some sort of collaboration with Jeff Staple. Don't ask me now who that is. I don't remember from when I listed it, but
collaborate.
It says right on there, collaborate.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I thought you misspelled something. I was sure you made up
a
word.
I had priced it higher, but clearly it wasn't getting sold at that price. But I believe somebody sent me the offer for $40, and I'm like, yeah, $40 plus shipping is
fine. It was a bins buy.
I
Get
paid
it out.
$3 for it. So, but I always go on my rants about how hoodies and sweatshirts feel nowadays. So when I feel a good one, I'm always going to take note.
For sure. Okay, I know that I showed these in a bins haul and I talked about these. The Lucky brand wide leg yoga pants that have patterns on them. There are some that are better than others. There are some blue ones that have clouds on them. It was when they were going through this whole Asian thing in the 90s or early Y2K. It was super popular. Now, I did sell these for this price. They sold yesterday. I've had them for a while.
That's crazy.
But I knew they would sell. They were bins fine, so I paid about $1, $150. So I want you to go and look at Lucky yoga pants and put vintage or put Y2K and sort by the highest price and then sort by solds in the highest price, because this is where you're going to see specific ones sell for a lot of money. You don't know if you don't know. If you were to pick up Lucky brand pants, you would normally price them $25, $35, something like that, and you wouldn't be wrong, except when they are a certain style and certain
You just
patterns.
blew Kristen's mind.
So this is one of those teaching moments here. I don't remember where I learned it. I think I was looking for a pair myself and found out. But definitely search and look for your highest solds by Lucky brand pants and women's, and you'll see what I mean. There's some that go for like 200, 300. So
That's crazy.
I need to pause while you all do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Lori said. It's great. They took a while to sell. You've got to find the right person, but they sold for $150. I paid $2 for them at the
You haven't
bins.
had them that long.
I have
It's been like a couple months.
Probably 6 to 9 months.
Okay. Didn't seem like that long ago. Anyway, anything else?
Liz said, I totally thought about you the other day, but Lucky brand jackets like that. See?
Nice.
The jackets and the pants do well, but not everything. And it's not, you're not going to sell them all that. I'm just going to scroll down and see if similar items and see if eBay's sponsoring any that look halfway
Let's see.
decent.
Well, there's those.
Yeah, see? Somebody else has them all priced at one. Those aren't me, by the way. 150, 150, 150.
That's all the same. Looks like all the same seller there.
Yeah, it's vintage, but that's exactly what they're talking about. It's similar. That similar style. Certain ones sell for a lot of money.
Crazy. All right. Let's go on to the next thing. Now, I did not sell it for that price, but I sold this for $45. I think I got this when we were with the Roots. I just can't remember if I got it at a thrift store or if I think I got it at the bins, but I'm not entirely sure. But this is actually a really awesome Abercrombie and Fitch sweatshirt. You can see it says soft fleece. It seriously is so freaking soft. Like the inside of this sweatshirt feels so nice.
I might have kept that one if I had seen that it was a medium. It's cute. It's a lobster.
I showed it to you.
And it's Massachusetts.
I think it would have been too big because it's oversized. See how it says oversized? So it actually like measures like an extra large.
And it's men's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wear a medium, small in men's now.
Yeah. So, and the lobster itself is embroidered. It's a really cool sweatshirt. And so I think at most I paid $5 for it and I sold it for $45 plus shipping. So just a really cool sweatshirt. Normally I wouldn't be excited about finding an Abercrombie and Fitch item, but I mean, it doesn't even have
some of them are worth money.
And this one doesn't even have it doesn't say that on the actual sweatshirt.
What'd you sell it for? Sorry.
45. It doesn't say anything on the actual sweatshirt. It's just a Martha's Vineyard. So, I always pick up like destination stuff. And I love that it had the embroidered lobster on the front of it. So it's actually a pretty awesome sweatshirt. Lobster.
Well, we'll have to go to Martha's Vineyard at some point. We took Diane to Block Island on our bucket list with a twist. Katie has never been to Martha's Vineyard.
I have not. All right, let's talk about all these fur coats you're slinging.
Yeah, so our friend Susan here in town, I bought a bunch of, she hates selling clothing. I bought a bunch of fur coats from her a few months ago. I paid on average $40 a coat. I have 2 left. I have a Burberry coat and a fur coat left. And you'll see in my listings here, I've sold most of them so far over the last 2 or 3 months. This one I sold for an offer of $250. And this one was probably the least attractive of them, I think. I mean, it's double-breasted, but it's... I love vintage, but I don't think it's cute.
Did you photograph this in the...
Yes, can't you tell I photographed it?
In the Glamour Shot studio?
In a meat locker.
In the Glamour Shot studio?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had a filter on. Anyway, this one I think is probably, like I said, the least attractive look, even though I love 60s. I don't know, I think this one was kind of ugly, but still sold for $250 and I paid $40 for it.
Crazy.
Love selling used furs. I love selling vintage fur.
All right, here's another t-shirt. I don't remember where I got this. I may have gotten it at the bins. I may have gotten it from Jesse. We'll say I paid $5 for it, but I sold it for $62.99 This is a Australian bicentenary t-shirt. There's not a whole lot else to say about it. This person bought this. This was a multi-order. I think they bought like 4 different t-shirts, and this was one of them. So $62.99, and I paid maybe $5 for it at most.
Look at you.
Look at me. Now this.
All right, now this was my good sale. Now this is a specific type of black mink. Diamond Black Mink is the brand. This was when I didn't have my sale going. This actually sold yesterday. It sold for a best offer of $650. I did pay $40 for it. This one is a beautiful coat. Beautiful coat. What's nice about these coats, every single one that I got is large or extra large, which is harder to find in vintage clothing. Very nice vintage clothing. So this is something that people will wear. And I actually almost brought one of these fur coats with me to Massachusetts. I'm thinking I should have. It just would have been hard.
It would have been hard to pack it and actually get it there.
Because it was freezing and it would have been nice and warm. But $650 from $40. I've had it listed less than 90 days. I was very happy with that sale. And yes, it sold on eBay for $650. So
yeah, was it promoted?
It was promoted.
Yay!
Promoted. But only 5%.
Yay!
It was like $38 in promoted listing fee or whatever.
Yeah, but that's rough. I mean, you sold it for so much, who cares? But still.
I sent out offers for this for a lot less too, by the way. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. And it was on sale for 40% off last week, and this week it was not on sale, and it sold for $650.
That's amazing. All right, I guess then we don't mind giving them that $40. All right, next up, I believe this was part of all of the motorcycle t-shirts I got when we went to that church sale in Boulder City, in which case I was paying $5 per 3 pieces, 3 for $5. So whatever that maths out to is how much I paid for it, less than $2, and sold it for $62.99. This was also in a bulk buy. I think I sold 5 things to one person and then 4 things to another person. So $62.99, not too shabby, but I will say
pretty good for a Sturgis shirt.
Yeah, but this one's first of all, it's from '92 and it's a pretty classic look. So I think. I will say I feel like a lot of the biker stuff is just not selling like it used to. It's not as popular right now with the.
Well, the kids were wearing the Harley stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
While.
With the vintage vintage streetwear people, they're not as into the Harley stuff. There's still some things like the 3D emblem and stuff, the ones that sell for a lot, that still will go for a ton of money. But I think whereas before, like pretty much everything was elevated in price. It has come down a little bit. So yeah, $62.99 is still pretty good for basically a Harley t-shirt. So, all right, next up for you.
This is just a basic. So one of the things I've been selling a lot of in the last couple of weeks is sleepwear. Robes and nightgowns and pajamas and pre-owned, vintage and not vintage. So I just wanted to point out that this is just a nylon house coat. It's in like typical 70s browns and oranges. Nothing fantastic. This is very Mrs. Roper, but without any flash to it. And I picked this up at the bins. I paid about $2. So I'm not a person that would wear used sleepwear. I wear used everything else pretty much, but I wouldn't wear used sleepwear. It kind of skeeves me out. That's just me. But it is very popular, and it's not one of those things that you should overlook because
that you should sleep on. Don't sleep on the sleepwear, guys.
But I paid $2 and it sold for $67. It wasn't listed all that long.
Yeah.
There's certain things you're going to buy based on the aesthetic.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I wouldn't be buying Kmart or Walmart brand or Target brand used sleepwear, but when it's vintage or it's a good brand, definitely pick it up.
All right, so our friend Jen a few weeks ago brought her husband over here because he, much like me, has a thing for graphic t-shirts and has way too many. I think he might even have more than me. Based on the amount that he brought over, he's got to have more than me. And for the most part, it wasn't anything vintage. It was a lot of graphic T-shirts that are just kind of goofy or silly or interesting. There were a bunch.
He's a musician though, so he's always wearing stuff on stage.
There were a bunch that like he had made himself, but for the most part, nothing that had like a lot of value other than just good inventory filler for me. And so I think I've got like a little over 60 T-shirts, and I paid him I gave him $200, so it was like around a little over $3 a piece. But like I said, I think there were 2 vintage shirts in the entire lot. And this was one of them. And this is, I don't know if I'm trying to think if I've sold any of the other shirts. Maybe I've sold like a couple, like just for cheap. Most of them I have listed for like $15 to $25. But this is one of the ones that has a little more value. And so $62.99. This is, a 70s adult movie T-shirt, but the shirt itself is Y2K, so it's not like actually from the 70s, but it is vintage Y2K, and it's got a cool graphic and everything, nice wear to it. All of the shirts were small though, because he wears like smalls and mediums. Like he's
a tiny little guy, yeah,
tiny little dude. But this one sold pretty quickly. It's only been up for maybe a couple of weeks. And I sold it for $62.99. Like I said, I think this one, and then he had a Day of the Dead T-shirt that I would have wanted for myself that had a lot of holes in it.
I'm surprised he didn't wear that on. So he's touring right now with Gene Simmons. He's in the Gene Simmons band. He's the singer and the guitar player for that band. He's a very, very talented local musician. But that's a cheesy shirt.
How dare you? Tommy wants to know how I determined it was a repro. Well, I mean, it's definitely not from the 70s, so just based on the Tennessee River tag, that is not 70s. It's made in Mexico, U.S. fabric. This tag is an early to mid Y2K tag, and so it's just one of those things.
Why do you have 90s in the description, though?
What do you mean?
Made in Mexico, usually that's
I probably accidentally
90s.
Picked 90s, because when you do an Etsy thing, there's a drop down where you have to pick a decade. I think I just didn't do it, but whatever. They're looking at the title, so who cares? But Tommy, if you're trying to learn tags at all, like Tennessee River, if you go and you Google Tennessee River tag history and look at images, most likely you're going to be able to find, people who have put pictures of tags up and identify the years and stuff like that. And it's just a way of figuring it out. I don't think Britt has any for Tennessee River, but he has his own website and he actually does this a lot. So if you ever do that, there's a good chance his website's going to pop up. Like he has Hanes, like he shows like all the years that he found a particular Hanes tag, like based on where he has visually seen, I've seen this tag on an 85, 86, an 89 t-shirt, whatever. So it's just a way to learn. Next up.
This was a bins find. I paid about $5 based on the weight. It sold for $97.46 plus shipping to Canada, so I made a little bit of money on the shipping as well. It was calculated shipping to Canada, but if you can see, this is just an acid wash jacket. It's kind of a puffer jacket, but if you scroll down and you just look at some of the photos, it's like pretty trashed in some areas. Like it's got some fading and like threading on the bottom, and let's see if there's some closer photos there that you can see.
I can't see anymore.
But it's a pretty cool, like it's got some good like broken in wear, like it's comfy looking. So yeah, I mean, I haven't listed that long, maybe a few months.
Not that too bad. All right, next up for me. Hey guys, I got another t-shirt for you.
Hey, look, it's a t-shirt.
I don't know how to pronounce this. Zipper?
Zipper.
Is it Zipper? Do you know this band?
No, but why wouldn't it be Zipper?
I don't know, because bands are weird and they might spell it weird and be like, hey, we're Zipper. Like, do you know that band, the Oneaters? Do you like that band?
No.
Anyway, I've had this for quite a while actually, and this is one of those things where I think I had already like lowered the price on eBay, but I hadn't done that I'd done that with some stuff on Etsy, but not a lot, and so I probably would have listed this maybe $40 now, but it sold for $89.99. It was another one that went in one of those bulk buys. So I was very happy to actually sell it for a decent price. But I mean, come on, I think it's worth it. I don't think there's another one out there like it. There's maybe there's a couple still in existence. I don't think this band was huge. I don't know. Maybe it's got secret underground fan base that I don't know about, but
It might just be a local band.
well, that's what I'm saying is it's probably.
But it says world tour.
I know.
Maybe it was the
They
world
went to
tour.
Canada, okay?
It might have been a world tour in like Milwaukee.
They could have gone to Canada.
That's
That
true.
makes it automatically a world tour. Hello.
All right.
Fair
enough.
See, Frankie doesn't know the band either, so.
No, and Frankie knows the more obscure bands that I don't know for sure.
So to me, it's like, yeah, somebody paid $90 for it, but maybe like they actually know this band, and it's like this major nostalgia because it's like, oh, I never see anything with that band. It's crazy.
Maybe they're like, oh my God, my dad was in this band.
Yeah, you never know. Anyway, that's all.
This was my one good Poshmark sale for the week. It was just a vintage velvet jacket or velvet coat. Really pretty, nicely lined. You can see the union tag there. Union tag it makes it 80s, that particular tag, although it looks more like a 60s does, 80s does 60s type of jacket. Really pretty. And yeah, I mean, that's about all I have to say about it. It was in really nice shape, and it sold for $97.
Witchycore. Gothic witchycore. All right, this is my one. I had 3 sales on Poshmark. This is my one good sale I had on Poshmark, and it's currently under dispute, so that's cool. It's a Pendleton board shirt. I sold it for $80. The guy's trying to say that hold on, let me see. It's a large. I put the measurements in it, and let me tell you, I accurately tell my measurements. He is saying that it's only it's barely 21 inches, and then he showed a picture of him holding the tape measure up to it, and of course the tape measure is like down here and like pointed off in a different direction, and it's not really accurate to what I put on there. So whatever, dude. I'm not off by 2 inches, but we'll see how that goes. It's my first ever dispute on Poshmark. We'll see if I don't know what happens. Tell the people out there what happens when somebody disputes your listing.
Basically, if you have all of the information accurately in your description with your measurements and a description of how you've determined those measurements, Poshmark usually sides with you, although I will say they have been siding with buyers more frequently.
Yeah.
They're fallen on the eBay sword lately. But generally speaking, they just side with you. All you do is you reply to the thing and say, you reply to the dispute and say accurate measurements were included within the description, and then leave it alone and let them decide.
All right.
If they decide with the buyer has to ship it back to you very promptly. They do not get 3 weeks like on eBay. Again, eBay, take note. They don't get 3 weeks. They get less than a week to put it in motion and get it out the door to you, just like you have less than a week to ship it to them.
That's good.
So if they get it back to you, you haven't been paid on it yet anyway. Posh eats the return shipping. No skin off your nose. Relist it and resell it. If they side with you, they immediately release your funds. So
all right,
that's it.
I want my $80. Well, less than that, however much I get.
Yeah. Posh usually rules in your favor, as Emily says, just based on if you have accurate descriptions, which I know you do. I know I do. This is why it's really important to always have measurements in your listings, at least for there.
For sure. Anyway, Liz, buyer said item had pilling, and her description said has pilling, and to see the close-up pics. Posh said nope, side with buyer. Wow.
Yikes.
Wow. That is very rude. Anyway, so as far as like my goals last week, I think my goal last week is to get something listed every day, and I wasn't going to hold myself to a number. I am going with a lower number right now. I'm doing like 5 to 8 a day, and I've been doing okay with that. I didn't do it at all yesterday, so I guess I failed still.
Well, to be fair, yesterday, January 25th, we took down our Christmas decorations, and you guys know how many that is, right? So
I was in the middle of
the entire day.
I was in the middle of doing it yesterday and thinking to myself, like, oh, we made it to January 20th, not too bad. And then I realized it was actually the 25th. So yeah, it did take us a while. But I will say, I am impressed with us. We actually got everything taken down and put away back in the storage unit in one day.
And clean.
In one day.
And clean,
I think
you
that's
have to
record.
Sweep and vacuum and do the floors and dust after you take everything down. So it definitely did.
I think that's a new record, though, don't you think?
It usually takes us 2 days, yeah.
So I feel pretty good about it. I feel like we've got...
And I have everything back in its place. I just started doing the Valentine's Day decorations today, though. I'll probably finish those tonight, but I haven't, or when we're done with the show. I didn't finish those. I did get my 10 listings up today already. So I do have 10 new listings up and took some photos to list tomorrow. So I think I have the time to go and finish putting up the Valentine's decorations.
Yeah. I will say, while we were undecorating yesterday, Vicky made the fatal mistake of saying how our dining room was useless, a useless use of space, and that we didn't need that space for a dining room. And so I jumped on that and I was like, we could use that as more storage, because I think maybe and I'm not saying this to talk you into it, because I'm just telling them about this conversation because they will relate as resellers. The storage unit price keeps going up and up, and now it's like $160 a month. And everything that fits into the storage space would take up not even a third of our dining room. And then the other more than 2/3 would be able to accommodate a whole lot more hard goods. I'm just saying there's a certain point where the certain luxuries, like space, it's like, why have a room that you use never? And I don't know. I'm just saying, what do you guys think? What say you out there? It's a very large room. The only thing is how to cover it up with a curtain, but making it look good and not cheap or chintzy. It's a lot of space. That's all I'm saying. It's funny because we went through the same thing 5 years ago when Vicky used to have
2 spare bedrooms.
She said we had 2 spare bedrooms, and I was like, because here's the thing. At the time, we were really struggling with space because we were at the old house. All Vicky had was a regular 2-car garage, and we had way less space there, and she was really struggling with that. And I'm like, you've got 2 spare bedrooms in this house, and maybe at most once a year we have people here to fill those 2 bedrooms at the same time. It seems like kind of a waste of space when space is a commodity for us as resellers. So, yes, a vintage screen.
They don't make screens that big.
Yeah, it would have to be tall. And
it's a really big doorway space.
Yeah.
And big room.
But then it's like if you turn around and look the other way, okay, $160 a month on storage, which is I don't know, what, $1,500 a year. Would you spend that much to rent that room to use for a day or two for entertaining? Of course you wouldn't.
We are not discussing this anymore. We're not discussing it.
I'm just putting it out there as a conversation for the people to enjoy, to take part in.
I told her the only way I'd think about it, and we could figure it out between now and next year, would be if I could store my Christmas trees in there and not have to take them down.
And I said yes. I actually said yes. So you could do that with your the giant Christmas tree, all the Christmas trees. You just wrap them up because you wouldn't want them just sitting there getting dust on them. Because if they sit there all year, they would get dusty, and that would be gross. So we would have to wrap them up. But yeah, we would just be able to move them in there
without having to undecorate them. Because what we put in our storage, just so you guys know, our storage unit is just Christmas decorations.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's all it is. So we do need a basement, that's for sure.
Yes, there's no basements here.
But yeah, we could have the Christmas. I told the second she asked that, I said absolutely. And then she's worried about where the bar, because we have this really cool bar, and I'm like, well, if we moved into this house and it was a new house we were moving into and it didn't have that dining room, we would just come up with a different spot to put it.
Right, but there are no other walls anywhere downstairs.
There's the whole wall where the couch.
The couches. Where are we gonna put the couch?
In a different spot. I'm just saying,
That's not how it works.
If you walked in and all you had was the rooms to work with, you would figure out where to make it work. I'm just saying. This is just a thought experiment. Okay, I've got these glasses now. When you wear glasses like this,
you're wicked smart.
You do a lot of thought experiments. That's how it works. And so now that I'm wearing them on the regular, get used to it. Okay, I'm just saying, man, a basement would be so sweet.
I do miss having a basement, but they don't have basements here. There are a few houses that do. They're much older, and there's not many of them.
Man,
but I wish.
For those of you who never had a chance to go visit Diane at her house in Boston, the Boston area, her basement was a reseller's dream, because it was one of those basements that's it's the entirety of the house,
entire footprint of the house.
Yeah, the entire.
She has a big home.
Yeah, she has a big home, but then also because a lot of places the basement isn't necessarily the whole footprint of the house, the way
it sounds like Lori's 2,200 square feet in the length of a bowling alley. That sounds about right.
It's just enormous, and it was just amazing. Yeah. I know. All these people are getting real jealous.
Mm-hmm.
See, Liz has a basement too. Yours is like finished though.
Hers is finished, but she has her office. There's a bathroom.
Yeah,
there's
you
a
have all
living
that
room,
space. Mm-hmm.
and then she has the storage area too. So her basement is finished nicely. My house in Rhode Island had a basement. I had a nice finished basement.
We did not have a basement in the house I grew up in.
I do, and I grew up in a split level raised ranch, which is basically obviously everybody's family room basement. So my mom's house has a basement, but I do miss having a basement for sure.
Yeah. It's too bad that we're in an HOA and it's like we have a big yard, but we don't have that big of a yard. So we've toyed with the idea of like, okay, maybe getting a shed, but then there's the issue of it gets really, really hot in the summertime.
And things will melt.
So you can only get a certain kind of shed because some of the sheds that are the cheaper ones, they're just going to melt.
The shed will melt.
The shed itself will melt.
Never mind the crap in it.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And then you got to worry about the stuff inside it. So there's just, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Lori, I agree. We need a church like Ryan and Allie. I feel like there was a property I just saw. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Did anybody else like search on like house porn?
Right? It was in Minnesota.
As I call it.
And we talked about it last week.
Yeah, no, I saw another one this week. Melanie and Jill they don't live in an HOA. We live in an HOA. You can't have a pod on. I can't have anything like that on our property, even in the backyard that nobody could see. But there is a property that I just saw. I want to say it was in like Milwaukee or something, because who's going to live there? But it was like a 2,400 square foot house, a normal 3-bed, 2.5 bath house, cute little house. And then it had like an 8-car heated, air conditioned garage bay on the property.
Jennifer, we're gonna need you to go scope it out and report back.
It would be the perfect. It was a separate building. And it was on like 2 acres or something. I'm like, that would be perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
I would do that.
Yeah. Hey, I just said there's nothing wrong with Milwaukee.
You're from Milwaukee. See, I've never been to Wisconsin actually at all.
And you were like, who would go? You can't say things like that to people. It's like, who would want to go there?
I seriously did not say it like that.
Yeah, you did. You guys, we're gonna have to run this tape.
Okay,
back.
I'm gonna be canceled
She's
now.
Like,
all 12 of our viewers are gonna cancel me.
See, if you would have asked me because I'm wearing these glasses, I would never say such a thing.
You are ridiculous. Yeah, Teresa has some great RV garage storage as well. Her area is perfect.
Well, she had her house was in the process of being. I mean, it was supposed to be an RV garage, but because she was part of the process of it being built, she was able to like really specify like the different, having like the split level, and it's just yeah.
And I agree, Lori. All it takes is money. I'm with you, Liz. I could live in a much smaller home. I could live in a much smaller home. I don't need to have a house this big. I just need to have enough space to put our businesses that's big enough. Like the house itself, I could live in a smaller house that's comfortable as long as we have bedrooms and as a spare bedroom and a place for the dogs. I'm cool with that. But I couldn't do like, I don't know. I couldn't do the winters in Wisconsin. That's really what it is. I can't do the winters anymore.
Yeah, see, I've got my T-shirt, my Wisconsin T-shirt.
You do.
We eat people. That's their tagline. Did you know that? It's their official tagline.
It's
on their state flag.
It's not the state flag.
It actually is on their state flag.
It's not.
But they also have delicious cheese. And I like cheese.
I love cheese.
I'm from Oregon. We also have delicious cheese in Oregon. But
I've been to the Tillamook factory.
Has some real good cheese. And that's why I feel something special with Wisconsin. And then you come in blazing in, just like throwing insults, acting like you have to be something wrong with you to like Wisconsin, to like Milwaukee.
You have to like cheese and serial killers.
Why? I don't see the problem. Yeah, and there's cows. So many cows there. I mean, come on.
That's true. Lots of cows.
Yeah.
Lots of cows. I actually would love to have a big outbuilding. And there's some areas here in Vegas that you can get a big outbuilding. It's just not in the areas where we live. There are certain areas that don't have HOAs, but then you also run the risk. There's areas
like not very far from us too.
Yeah, you also run the risk of it not being a gray area. So it's
like
hit or miss. It's hit or miss, like anything else.
On our way from here to the Bends, which is only like a 12-minute drive, 10 to 12-minute drive, we go through an area where there's lots of houses that have like bigger plots of land, and there's horses. There's signs telling you to look out for horses.
Yep.
So there are spaces here, but it's just nothing like. Believe me, when we moved, we were looking, and there was nothing available. at the time that fit for us. So
we still love this house. I still love this house. I just, I don't love the price tag with it. That's all.
Yeah.
But hey, if my sales keep going up, my sales keep doing well.
Sales keep going up. Transform that dining room into a new space.
I am not going to listen to this
Don't you want your trees?
I'm not going to listen to this for a year.
Come on.
It's not going to happen.
I'm only feeling it right now because they just charged me for this month's storage space, but it really is freaking small. It's stupid. It's like double in price since we moved here. It's like they just keep going up. And I know that there's the whole thing of like, you got to like go move into it's so dumb. Like, why do I have to move into a unit down the block or whatever, down the row in order to get the savings? And the problem is that where our unit is located is perfect. It's ground level. It's the first unit in from one of the doors. So it's so easy to just pull right up. And I feel like if I switch, it's all of a sudden it's going to be like in the middle of
upstairs, way in the back.
There's no upstairs, but there are definitely units that are in like the center. And so it's like you'd have to be like everything. You have to be dragging on a cart. It would just be a pain in the ass. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to do it. But anyway, here we are. It's 2:59. What are your goals for the next week and moving on in life?
In life?
In life. Let's talk about it.
I have to do more photos and get some stuff listed. I've gotten through a good portion of my death pile in the last few weeks because I haven't really sourced much. So I have like probably about 100 to 120 items to get photographed and listed this week, and I think I can do it. I think maybe not all of them, but I can get through a good portion of them. And because my lister just got a batch of stuff, so I won't get anything back from her for a while. So my goal is to get through the majority of what I have here this week. I think I can do that. I'm not going to source this week. I say that. I'm not going to source this week because I actually have 300 items coming to me this week as well.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to get to those like this week. So that's it. I'm gonna try to get stuff listed. We've got, we're coming to crunch time with the remix. Obviously, if you guys haven't gotten your tickets yet, please purchase tickets. We'll probably not do a cutoff. We'll probably keep going till the day of. We had people like Kristen 2 years ago bought her ticket the morning of, or paid cash the day of, showed up, got on a plane the day of. It was so funny. So we'll probably keep it open. Ticket sales are a little slow. Doesn't mean there won't be a lot of people there, but they are a little slow. And we'd like to see as many of you guys show up as possible. Obviously, for us to continue doing this, we do have to sell tickets.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see you guys in March. 6 more weeks, and it's almost time.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to get a little bit more work done before I take poor little Ripley on her scary little trip down the street to see new dogs.
Fine.
I know, but the thing is that anything outside of her protective bubble is kind of scary for her, so she's going to be nervous.
Well, that's why I'm not going to go, because I make her nervous. I get nervous, so I'm going to make her nervous.
Yeah, but she's going to have fun, and she might not play it all this time because they're going to be wondering what's going on with her too, the other 2 dogs. But I'm going to see if I can get them to like each other, because once she has buddies, then she can play all the time. And it'll probably end up being even better than it was for her when it was just her and Luna here with Grizz, in the sense of her getting exercise. Because,
well, and the other dog playing back.
Well, that's my point. In the sense of her getting exercise, because she'll have dogs like actively playing with her, whereas Luna was mostly
tolerated her.
Luna was mostly just on defense. Like, how do I keep myself from being shoved off the couch today? So she did play with her, but she didn't get. She needs some younger dogs that are gonna like roughhouse with her and roll around with her and stuff. Yeah. So we're hoping. Here's hoping, guys. Give your thoughts to Ripley that she has an awesome day today, and hopefully gets to start going and having fun, because they seriously are like 2 blocks away. I can just walk over there with her, and it'll make it so much easier than like trying to go to a dog park. And I don't feel. I used to take my dog, like Grizz used to go to the dog park with me all the time back in Oregon. But I don't know. I feel Vegas is a little. I don't trust other people. I don't trust
other people's dogs
and their dogs. And I feel like when I lived in Portland, I felt like that whole situation was a little more self-regulated, and because you get all the hipsters.
You don't
and
want
stuff like that.
some mean dog off leash that decides to come and attack the baby, because then I would have to murder somebody, and it would not go well.
Handle it.
It would not go well.
Wouldn't be able to handle it. Anyway, all right, guys, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us this Sunday afternoon, early evening, wherever you are at. And we will see you.
We'll see you next week.
Next week. What do you
Have
say
a great
about?
week.
Yeah, only 298 more days to January.
It's what it feels like,
Yeah.
Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.